she made it into medicine school and I got rejected into medicine school, and that's what triggers me kayak, oh, debating itu penting deh kayaknya. I think having the skill of debate itu kayaknya it's important deh. Beda sih, beda banget Kak. I guess walaupun walaupun the format is the same, like the format of the competition is the same, tapi I feel like the thing is different. My relationship sama debat was not smooth, was not always rainbow sih.
Hmm.
Apalagi waktu KDMI, cerita dikit setelah KDMI I hit the rock bottom. Even if I win ya. Kayak although I win, my mental game is so rock bottom.
Hai, selamat datang di Behind the Speech. Ini tempatnya para debater ngobrolin hal-hal tentang debat dan hal-hal di luar debat. Bintang tamu kita kali ini, aslinya sih dia asli Bali ya, Bali nih kayaknya ya. Tapi dia berkuliah dari Bali ke Bandung nih teman-teman. Ada yang bisa tebak nggak siapa? Iya, betul. Dia salah satu debater yang cukup famous di wilayahnya. Kita sambut without further ado ya. Ada Arya Divananda. Halo Arya.
Halo Kak Nila, very nice to be here.
Very nice to meet you too, gitu. Hey, Arya kita nih baru pertama kali ketemu ya di sini ya nggak sih? Makanya kayak aku denger info dari orang dalam tuh kayak invite Arya dong kak, invite Arya gitu kayak, menarik juga nih perjalanan debatnya nih setelah dikasih konteks kayak gitu. Jadi kayak ya why not gitu. Nah, Arya, ini akan ada dua pertanyaan yang sangat cringe tapi wajib untuk dijawab. Dan kita masuk ke pertanyaan pertama ya, Arya. Yang pertama itu perkenalan sebenarnya lebih ke arah namanya siapa. Dulu Arya itu buat yang belum tahu di IDS mana sih gitu. Dan Arya punya posisi debat favorit nggak sih so far? Atau dulu tuh ditempatin sama pelatih di posisi apa, tapi basically kamu tuh deep down inside tuh lebih suka di posisi apa kayak gitu.
Oke, halo teman-teman behind the speech semuanya. Pastinya eh, belum banyak yang kenal karena tidak secetar bintang tamu sebelumnya ya. Aku agak deg-degan sebenarnya. But anyways, nama aku Ikade Dwi Arya Divananda, Arya. Currently sekarang obviously a debater, tapi sekarang aku transform that into creating my own platform namanya The Diva Scam. Follow at The Diva Scam juga, tapi follow behind the speech juga. Anyways, yeah, a little bit about me. I started debating pas kuliah. Actually, I did not start dari SMA, so I think this shows to everyone you can start whenever you want. Tapi sebenarnya back to questionnya Kak Nila adalah kalau tentang position, aku have several different coaches dan I've been through every position di BPC. I think all eight speakers aku udah pernah dari Prime Minister sampai option whip, pernah semuanya. Dan sebenarnya maksudnya semua position tuh have its own charms gitu sih sebenarnya Kak Nila, tapi for me I feel like yang aku paling suka adalah aku jadi member sih, member. I feel like member itu punya balance of you have enough time to think of the overall strategy, but at the same time you have enough time juga untuk direct the debate into the right direction gitu. I feel like kayak having that power itu I love being dominant. That's I love being in control sebenarnya in the debate, dan I think member give me the most holistic view of the debate before even I started my speech gitu sih. Jadi bener-bener give a lot of advantage sih. Menurut aku, kalau aku paling suka jadi member. Tapi I've tried all of the position in the debate, dan emang ada ada different charms of every position which I truly like juga sih. Gitu.
Mhm mhm. Gitu ya, rata-rata yang aku obrolin nih emang banyak sih yang suka percampuran antara argumen dan juga apa namanya nih rebuttals gitu. Tapi entah kenapa aku tuh suka banget yang Fury banget.
Iya.
Itu aku suka banget yang pure battles gitu kayak,
Mm,
aduh argumennya mikir, jelas aja lah apa yang mereka omong itu aja deh,
mm.
lempar balik
Iya, iya,
gitu.
iya.
Tapi katanya mau mulai debatnya nih kuliah ya?
Iya, aku pas kuliah baru mulai debat.
Hmm, oke, so kita sama nih, karena aku juga baru mulai debat itu waktu kuliah.
Yeay.
Dan my next question adalah apa yang akhirnya waktu kuliah bikin Arya kecemplung di debat gitu? And what makes it hard and what makes it easy
Mm,
memulai debat di kuliah?
mm. Ini aku mau give special shout out to my best friend. Nama dia Aya, Rukmanggana Satya Pratiwi to be precise. Dia itu adalah NSDC semifinalist pertama kali Nusa Tenggara Barat, which is my province,
Hmm.
masuk semifinalist. Dan sebenarnya a little bit funny story waktu SMA. Sebenarnya she asked me to join in to become her teammate dan jadi
Hmm.
delegates di NSDC. But at the time I refuse karena waktu itu kayak I feel like I don't have any training, I don't know what to do. Dan waktu itu ada other priorities juga. I actually dance, I become centernya DBL of my school gitu. Jadi kayak I prioritize dance dulu. Dan pas kuliah I feel like triggernya adalah she made it into medicine school and I got rejected into medicine school, and that's what triggers me kayak oh, debating itu penting deh kayaknya. I think having the skill of debate itu kayaknya it's important deh. Terus ya udah semenjak itu aku masuk Telkom. Kebetulan Telkom ada debate clubnya. I know it's kind of a privilege karena not every institution punya debate club kan Kak. Tapi I do have the privilege juga untuk masuk EDS Telkom, which namanya sebenarnya SES, Student English Society. Ya, terus aku masuk di situ, and yeah, I learn more about debate, and the rest is history Kak. Jadi kayak tapi intinya adalah I started karena very inspired with my friend gitu loh. Kayak Aya is the one who pushes me to actually try to debate. Dan yeah, we still friends dan bahkan I still tell her a lot of things juga. And yeah, then here I am. Thanks to her, I think.
Oh my God, dia pasti sekarang yang kayak tuh kan, harusnya lu tuh ikut dari
Iya
dulu. Pasti
benar,
ada conversation kayak gitu ya
benar
kan?
benar benar banget kayak iya kayak one time she said to me kayak tuh kan Div aku udah bilang kayak emang jalannya di debat gitu katanya gitu deh.
Iya ya. Dan kamu ngerasa ada kesulitan nggak sih memulai debat di varsities? Karena rata-rata kan orang-orang mulai debat tuh kan di high
Iya.
school ya. Tereteteng, kamu datang terus mulai debatnya di varsity
Heeh.
gitu. Terus turun competition yang orang-orangnya banyak debater-debater yang juga udah dari high school gitu. Itu kamu ngerasa terintimidasi atau kayak gimana nggak sih? Apa sih yang bikin berat saat itu?
Hmm. Beratnya aku nggak bisa AP. Aku nggak bisa Asian Parliamentary karena aku langsung belajar BP kan Kak. Jadi aku nggak
Hmm.
ngerti, maksudnya bukan nggak ngerti sih, lebih kayak emang tidak diajarin di AP waktu itu. Jadinya waktu ya kalau
Hmm.
aku turun 3 on 3 itu lumayan susah karena memang obviously ada different strategy kan yang digunakan. Walaupun sebenarnya baseline-nya sama. Sebenarnya struggle struggle utamanya itu sih kayak it's hard to grasp the AP scene. Sedangkan itu adalah forte beberapa orang yang start earlier kan Kak. Tapi I think the other struggle juga adalah everyone knows everyone when you start in high school. I feel like the circle itu udah almost settle gitu loh Kak. Kayak oh ini temenan sama ini. Udah ada circle NSDC, LDBI-nya gitu. Which um, I find it kind of hard to fit in juga sih karena obviously there's a lot of stories that I cannot relate to. There's a lot of things yang didiscuss maybe I cannot relate to that juga. Which actually sebenarnya makes my friend bubble is quite limited sih sebenarnya. Tapi thankfully memang di SAS Telkom everyone was so solid. I think we're a good pack within each other even though we're not many, but I think kayak we're very supportive towards each other, and I feel like it's kind of enough. But I think I can fit in by being myself. I think thankfully the debate community memang very open with different perspective and different spectrum of people, and that's why I feel like even though I'm scared, not scared, but like I'm discouraged to fit in. But I feel like because mereka, I think a lot of people in debating sangat wholesome, sangat welcoming juga. Jadinya I feel like I'm welcome now gitu sih. Tapi on AP skills, I don't think I developed that much. But yeah, that's another story. But yeah, intinya adalah I think that's the struggle and that's how I kind of cope myself towards it. And obviously thanks juga buat debating community-nya sih.
I see. Nah, tadi kamu mention tentang SES gitu. Nah, aku ingin tahu deh, kalau karena kamu adalah orang pertama yang aku invite dari Telkom ya, jadi aku juga ingin tahu nih, SES di Telkom itu tuh kayak gimana sih sistem rekrutannya? Terus kalau misalnya sistem regenerasinya, apakah kayak bagi-bagi formulir, ayo ikut, atau sistem yang very very chill dan tidak ada IDS, tidak ada IDS-nya, bahkan kayak BINUS mereka kayak malah under kayak suatu organisasi lain. Kalau set sendiri tuh kayak gimana sih, Arya?
Yes. SES itu basically English clubnya gitu sih sebenarnya kak. Itu payung organisasinya dan kita ada debate branchnya gitu sih. We're lucky enough sebenarnya to have satu senior kak cantik if you know Kak Nila.
Hmm?
Dia yang agak break the ceiling to become semi-finalist gitu. That's where debate branch started to gain attention sih sebenarnya kak dari Telkom University itu sendiri. Dan that's where we get funding, we get regeneration dan lain-lainnya. So yeah, thanks to Kak Cantik to actually make the debate community in Telkom alive sebenarnya. Tapi on regeneration, we actually have an annual open recruitment. Basically open recruitmentnya, obviously we market it in online but we also market it in offline juga, we sebar pamphlet gitu-gitu and stuff gitu.
Hmm.
Cuma apakah it's a very rigid organization? I don't think so. Everyone is chill, it's we do have our weekly training but it's not like you have to do it like kayak it's not punitive gitu. Kalau nggak datang juga nggak apa-apa. If you don't want to debate but you just want to hang out and you just want to listen the debate juga nggak masalah. Jadi kayak it's very chill gitu. Dan untuk kalau misalnya pemilihan kayak candidates atau misalnya delegates buat nationals gitu, we have our own internal competition gitu yang which itu directly hold dan directly di supervise sama kampus sih. Jadi kampusnya benar-benar hands on untuk memilih delegasinya gitu. Cuma ya
Hmm.
we're not as big as the other EDS in Indonesia,
Hmm.
but I think we're growing. I think we're growing.
Nggak apa-apa. Apa namanya? Not as big as EDS yang lain di Indonesia, tapi tetap bertumbuh. Itu sudah suatu progres sih ya,
Yes.
Arya. Nah, terus aku juga kepo nih, gimana sistem pemilihan NUDC sama KDMI-nya? Because what I heard adalah kalau kamu itu turun di dua kompetisi, kamu turun di KDMI, kamu juga turun di WUDC. Nah ini
Yes.
how come nih gitu? Apa namanya? Gimana sih sistem pemilihannya dari Telkom sendiri dan gimana kamu bisa sampai menjadi justru jadi delegate ke WUDC?
Mm-mm. Um, yang aku harus disclaimer adalah aku tuh orangnya adrenaline junkie gitu loh kak. I love being in a competition setting. I love being under pressure. I love challenges gitu. That's why I never stop going to competition sebenarnya before graduate. Aku jelasin timelinenya deh. Aku pertama turun NUDC 2022 as an N1 as a judge. Aku tuh ya obviously like I said before seleksinya adalah tetap internal selection, internal competition gitu. 2022 aku jadi N1. Thank God I got second best institutional judge. Terus tahun depannya aku turun lagi NUDC as a debater. Untungnya bisa grand finalist walaupun fourth, cuma that's okay. Grand finalist. Terus aku jadi delegasi ke WUDC kan automatically karena we're finalist. Terus ya udah di WUDC things are so well for us. We get a medal for best new institution because we are the first delegate from Telkom and we actually break first in EFL category and we actually can proceed to ESL but we choose to EFL, but that's another story. But anyways, then after that, the next year selection, I feel like I want to try KDMI though because I feel like why not gitu. Jadinya aku coba seleksi internal lagi KDMI and I got selected and I won the whole thing and yeah, thank you gitu.
Nah, boleh dong ceritain kenapa kok seharusnya kalian ISL tapi malah
Mm,
di IFL tuh?
Nah itu guys, I still kinda regret it a little bit
Mm-mm.
karena I feel like kita tuh nggak pede gitu loh kak waktu berangkat ke audisi. Kayak I feel like kayak um, sebenarnya pede nggak pede sih, cuma kayak I feel like kayaknya memang break EFL aja it's a huge accomplishment especially for us gitu yang nggak pernah ke Worlds, nggak punya precedence seniors kita ke Worlds gitu kan. Sebenarnya kayak no expectation aja. Cuma em, awalnya kita sudah mulai bimbang sebenarnya waktu pre WUDC karena kita pre Worlds kita ESL Grand Finalist di Monash dan juga Novice Grand Finalist di UT We were thinking like, I think we can do it deh gitu loh. Kayak I feel like kayak oh bisa deh kayaknya. Cuma at the time emang kayaknya udah firm kayak I think it's better for us to aim for EFL and win the whole thing daripada risking break yang
Hmm.
lebih atas terus keluar di quarter or like octo finals which I feel like the pride is kinda less gitu. I think that's the consensus that we have gitulah intinya.
Hmm.
Cuma ya begitu mungkin emang rezekinya ya kita udah kepedean nih kayaknya bisa win the whole EFL thing tapi keluar di semifinals, but that's totally fine. Still a really good run though. I feel like karena if you know our run is so good that in round 9 kita ketemu Kak Omar and Kak Bobby. We're in one room with Kak Omar and Kak Bobby. The legend. Like the reaction waktu dapet itu, waktu ngeliat tab round 9 kayak you're going against Kak Omar sama Kak Bobby, me and Jose, my teammate, we're not even case building. We're so ecstatic that we're so happy that we're automatically break because we know that Kak Omar and Kak Bobby was killing it. Like they're so amazing in their WDC run. Terus kayak pas round kayak yes Jo, yes kita menang gitu kayak yes lay gitu kan ya udah. Makanya pas pas breaking announcement, pas first break EFL kita udah tahu kayak oke, kita udah phones up gitu loh, udah kayak udah ngerekam, udah siap kayak Telkom gitu. But ya gitu ternyata being too optimistic ternyata tidak terlalu itu ya. Jadinya kita agak agak take it for granted jadinya semifinals agak flop, but that's okay, we still get the medals. But ya intinya kayak gitu ya, ngalor ngidul deh jadinya tapi that's okay.
Oke, kayaknya semifinalis nggak not so bad ya. Justru udah bagus banget gak sih? Itu worth
Thank
loh. Kamu
you.
terlalu humble gitu, Arya. It's ya siapa coba kayak modelan aku tuh ke WUDC aja belum pernah ya kan? Ini kamu udah ke WUDC semifinalis gitu. Wow.
Thank
Nah,
you.
terus juga Arya, kan kamu juga di KDMI and you won the whole thing. Nah, itu kamu sempet di invite juga nggak sih buat jadi CAP tapi yang debat bahasa Indonesia? Ini aku yang kepo sih. Debat bahasa
Yes.
Indonesia. Di invite juga ya. Nah,
Mm,
gimana? Gimana rasanya menjadi CAP debat bahasa Indonesia? Aku pengen tahu deh.
mm, can I say kayak I feel like how do I say it ya, beda sih, beda banget kak. I guess walaupun walaupun the format is the same, like the format of the competition is the same, tapi I feel like the thing is different karena I feel like um I feel like in debating di bahasa Indonesia uh, somehow lebih restrictive in a way, tapi somehow juga you feel more free karena you don't have that language barrier gitu loh Kak. Ngerti gak sih? Jadinya kayak it's very different sebenarnya. Tapi more than that, I think the community is also different. The dynamics of the community juga different. Karena memang I feel like which is good sih sebenarnya. Karena I feel like kalau misalnya nggak ada pemisahnya atau nggak ada difference-nya, nggak punya their own charms gitu loh Kak. I feel like that's what make debat Indonesia unique. Hebohnya lah, the drama lah, terus kayak where you know everyone can actually join. Malah I feel like kayak debat Indonesia itu lebih inklusif gitu sih Kak. Karena kan there's no language barrier gitu sebenarnya. Cuma ya very unique sih. I think the people are unique. I'm just gonna say unique, so it's a neutral tone. So, but yeah, I think it's different, it's unique, and I think I'm grateful sih karena I think even though different, tapi I feel like orang-orang di debat Indonesia juga equally as welcoming di debat Inggris sih. So that's at least that what I'm thankful of for the experience sih.
Setuju sih. Cuma kamu pernah nggak punya momen di debat bahasa Indonesia yang bikin kamu agak kaget nih gitu? Karena bukan rahasia lagi ya. Maksudnya kalau ikut debat bahasa Indonesia belum tentu semuanya tuh ngerti konsep debat, ya nggak sih? Nah, apa namanya? Karena mereka belum ngerti konsep debat, jadi somehow kadang kamu tuh kayak disalah-salahin gitu loh, diprotes sama pesertanya lah, dibilang kamu bias lah, atau mungkin ada yang gebrak meja lah. Kamu pernah nggak sih ngerasain kayak gitu Arya kalau di debat bahasa Indonesia? Karena I've been there gitu. Aku yang menang, aku yang digebrak gitu mejanya kayak
Uh,
kenapa?
um, I'm gonna say orang-orang di debat Indonesia lebih passionate sih, which I think implicationnya could leads into that kind of action yang Kak Nila sebut. But fortunately belum pernah have that you know aggravation yang kayak gitu, yang gitu banget gitu sebenarnya. Cuma I think what's unique is adalah orang di debat Indonesia I feel like lebih vokal sih sebenarnya Kak Nila.
Benar.
Lebih vocal on their minds. If they think they deserve to win, they will pursue it. Mungkin nggak to an extent of gebrak meja. I hope not because I will be shaking my boots. But yeah, of course kalau ada confrontation, it happens. Apalagi di debat Indonesia terus juga mungkin I'm gonna say I had some unique judging experience. Bukan aku pernah dijudge with some judges yang have very unique perspective. For example, aku pernah dikomenin kontak mata aku kurang terhadap juri, bahasa aku kurang berserah kayak gitu-gitu. Jadi kayak sebenarnya ada, I'm not gonna say it's wrong karena mungkin kaidahnya debat bahasa Indonesia memang seperti itu. Tapi memang I feel like it's different. It's different than the debating in English dan itu memang ada shocknya sedikit. Cuma ya aku a newcomer, I'm the one who needs to adapt to that situation. Bukan debat Indonesianya yang harus adapt ke aku. Karena ya aku siapa gitu kan. Jadinya ya if I want to win, I need to play their game gitu. Jadinya ya aku make adjustment with my strategy. Aku speech lebih pelan. Aku juga mengandalkan lebih banyak ilustrasi dan visualisasi supaya juri-jurinya bisa nangkep entirely what is my case. Dan aku juga memperhatikan tutur kataku dan lebih diplomatis juga sih. I think that's how I adapt towards the situation. Cuma ya memang benar sih kata Kanila, orang-orang debat Indonesia lebih passionate dan juga lebih vocal kalau misalnya ada something wrong atau misalnya ada sesuatu yang tidak sesuai dengan you know what they want and what they envision the debate looks like gitu sih. But yeah, I'm gonna say emang gitu sih. So I know how it feels. I've seen it, but fortunately I never personally have that experience.
Tapi kamu ada kesulitan nggak juggling antara debat bahasa Indonesia ke debat bahasa Inggris? Kan kayak tadi kamu bilang ya, untuk debat bahasa Indonesia tuh kamu harus adjust several things gitu. Sedangkan di bahasa Inggris, kamu juga akan adjust lagi. Ada kesulitan nggak sih, Arya, kalau misalnya harus juggling di dua bahasa gitu?
Mm-mm. Eh, ini fun fact aja ya Kanila. Aku sampai semifinal KDMI feedbacknya adalah kamu boleh nggak kurangin terms bahasa Inggris kamu. Kamu bisa nggak kurangi penggunaan bahasa Inggris kamu. Aku sampai di feedback kayak gitu terus-terusan karena em, ada beberapa kata dan jargon di debat yang nggak punya kata bahasa Indonesia penggantinya. Contoh framing, pembingkaian kah yang kita bilang. Kayak contoh weighing, masa kita bilang menimbang gitu kayak it's it's hard to to implement that dan kopas
It's
langsung ke
odd
bahasa
ya.
Indonesia gitu. Dan iya, dan apalagi kalau di lagi on a very impromptu setting, kita kan nggak nulis banyak ya Kak pastinya, dan pastinya kalau misalnya spontan speech ya mother tongue-nya English gitu in debating setting ya. I'm not being native Cinta Laura vibe gitu, but I'm just saying karena I started in English, jadi ya beberapa jargon that I know in debating adalah started with English, jadinya ya sering banget tuh ke bawah-bawah kayak the comparative on their side kayak gitu-gitu, sering banget dulu waktu KDMI bahkan. Cuma ya em, itu challenge sih Kak, beneran challenge untuk compose yourself to make to be more in control of what you said gitu sih. Um, dan itu struggle sih, itu struggle banget. Dan ya, I learned a lot from that sih. Sebenarnya if we think about it, sebenarnya itu lebih ke agak agak life lesson gitu sih Kak, karena kan kayak jadinya kita mikir dua kali gitu, kita mau ngomong apa gitu. Sebenarnya jadi kayak that's a really good thing sebenarnya. Cuma ya at the time, oh I was stressing out. I am stressing out waktu itu kayak oh my god, kenapa ya kayak gitu-gitu. Cuma ya that's okay. I won, I still won, tapi
That's all the matter. Nah, kalau misalnya apa namanya tuh, kayak kamu kan sampai dikasih input kurangin ya bahasa Inggrisnya dan lain sebagainya. Itu kan semifinalis. Akhirnya di final kamu kurangin nggak? Aku penasaran deh.
kurangin. I even
Oh, dikurangin.
integrate bahasa Bali. I start my speech with Om Swastiastu and I ended up with Om
Hmm.
So, to appreciate karena memang musiknya tentang bahasa juga. Jadi kayak I think the cap make the motion to sentil me maybe I don't know I don't know GR. Cuma ya um, ya karena mumpung lagi ngomongin bahasa jadi bener-bener kayak kita
Hmm.
harus integrate our traditional language gitu. Jadi itu fun.
Nah, Arya, kalau misalnya sebenarnya kalian waktu latihan nih bahasa Indonesia, eh, kalian latihannya pakai bahasa Indonesia dan ada bahasa Inggrisnya, gitu tuh kalian di feedback nggak sih sama yang jadi nonton kalian kayak, bahasa Inggrisnya kurangin dong, kan kamu turun KDMI nih, gitu. Waktu latihan nih, waktu latihan.
Ya. Um, karena coach aku Kak Santo. Jadi sebenarnya Kak Santo pun tidak terlalu mempermasalahkan sebenarnya. Cuma waktu practice competition mungkin this feedback
Hmm.
muncul sih beberapa kali. Cuma ya em, karena aku yang perfectionist sih I think. Aku yang beneran actively nanya kayak Kak ini bener nggak ya kayak gitu-gitu sebenarnya.
Hmm.
Mesti jadinya kayak em, waktu latihan juga di call out sih, maksudnya practice competition ya Kak. Tapi
Hmm.
kebetulan waktu practice karena sama Kak Santo, walaupun Kak Santo menyinggung beberapa kali sih kayak Arya bahasanya, maksudnya kayak translatannya ini loh gitu, cara cara nyebut di bahasa Indonesianya itu ini loh gitu. Dan sebenarnya
Hmm.
Kak Santo bukan langsung menyarankan kayak oh langsung ganti lebih banyak bahasa Indonesia, tapi Kak Santo justru lebih menyarankan kayak slow down. Kayak jadinya think about what you said dan omongin cuma yang matters doang. Maksudnya kayak omongin yang penting aja. Which it hits me. Karena if we want to deep dive sebenarnya Kak Nila, my speech style before KDMI itu adalah the machine gun yang kayak benar-benar bisa
Hmm.
4 issue, 5 issue in one speech ya kayak
Hmm.
benar-benar kayak 1 2 3 1 2 3
Hmm.
rapper vibe gitu lah. Cuma waktu KDMI karena di told untuk slow down, jadinya justru aku terincentivise untuk really think what is the most strategic case that I need to bring gitu sih Kak. Dan fun fact, in KDMI aku cuma bawa satu argumen and I win in finals gitu. Jadi ya waktu latihan disinggung dan memang metanya berbeda, tapi caranya aku menanggulanginya karena aku tahu it will took time dan bakal susah untuk 100% menjadi transform menjadi debater Indonesia. Aku akalin dengan lebih pelan, lebih banyak ilustrasi supaya jurinya lebih gampang ngerti gitu sih Kak kalau aku.
Nice, 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 nice. Ini juga bisa jadi tips ya buat teman-teman yang lagi mau turun LDBI dan KDMI nih. Ada input dari Arya tentang gimana kalian harus bisa perform. Ingat loh, Arya menang loh di KDMI loh. Nah, ya
Iya.
aku juga pingin tahu nih, kamu ngerasa berbeda nggak sih dari Arya yang dulu belum kenal debat ke Arya yang sekarang sudah kenal debat? Apa sih yang membedakan Arya yang dulu sama yang sekarang udah kenal debat?
Perbedaan paling obvious adalah aku naik 25 kilo setelah kenal debat.
Kenapa? Kenapa? Berat
Karena,
badan.
karena stress eating.
Oh, stress eatingnya.
um, iya, karena memang aduh personal sih. Cuma kayak emang my relationship sama debat was not smooth, was not always rainbow sih.
Hmm.
Apalagi waktu KDMI cerita dikit setelah KDMI I hit the rock bottom. Even if I win ya, kayak although I win, my mental game is so rock bottom. So this is no shit to in the Indonesia debating community, debat bahasa Indonesia, but y'all need to calm down. But because a lot of the times, those external voices really gets to you sih sebenarnya waktu itu ya, waktu
Hmm.
akademi itu. Cuma back to the topic sebenarnya circling through that, sebenarnya on gimana sih what changes sebenarnya, real talk ya, bukan berat badan doang. Menurut aku positively, I feel like yang berubah adalah I'm just being skeptical aja sih. I'm just being skeptical towards everything, which is good. Karena I make so many clumsy mistake in my life before debating sih. Kayak
Hmm.
make interested of the wrong person, I make questionable choices during my life gitu-gitu. Cuma debate helps me to rethink whatever decision I'm taking in my life, which I think it's a small skill. I feel like, tapi I feel like it's a very integral skill sih, karena it avoids you from a lot of losing a lot of stuff. I think that's the first thing that debate taught me, see, to really careful and being strategic with your life gitu. Second of all is I think what changes in debating adalah um, of course I get a lot of opportunities. Uh, I will not go, traveling across the, Southeast Asia untuk lomba if it's not for debating. I will not meet hundreds of friends who are, have the same passion as me if I were not about debating. I will not have the opportunity to become, a national judge. Like who does that? Kayak debating give me so much juga. Even though I said memang relationshipnya not always good, but I'm always gonna be grateful for being debater. See, I think that's what really changed from me, and I think it helps me to grow juga sih sebenarnya. But of course, we're not here to talk about, sugarcoat debating. I think we need to be realistic juga. I think I want to highlight few things juga sebenarnya yang negatively change juga on debating. Firstly, I think I gossip a lot, which is a really bad thing. I think that this is to all of you. I think this is my open critics towards the Indonesia debating community. I love y'all, but I think y'all should mind your own businesses and just live your life. Like you have your own life. Please stop talking about other people's life. And I think it's a habit. It's a habit karena memang kita love yapping. Jadinya kayak kebawa to yap about other people's businesses. But that trait sebenarnya really bad karena I lose a lot of good friendship because I cannot shut my mouth. That's what I learned juga sih sebenarnya. From now sudah tidak terlalu active within the community. I learned to control myself. I learned to focus more on me juga sebenarnya. That's what I learned sih. So Indonesian
Hmm.
debate community, please stop the gossiping habit. Like it's not cute. Like we could have a healthy conversation. We could have a lot of open criticism if you want to, but not gossip. Don't ruin someone else's life with your mouth because you are smart. Like the beaters are smart and they know how to make a really good and compelling gossip. So please don't, please stop. Like mind your own business. But second thing I think I want to highlight that mungkin yang change for me negatively adalah um I kind of do it. I'm not gonna generalize everyone does this, but I feel like I sometimes think highly about myself because I won a lot of debate competitions. And it's bad. Going into workforce, going into, the real corporate work, I realized that I'm nobody. I'm literally nobody. Winning worlds, it's it's nobody business. There's more people that are as good and even better as you. I think that experience also humbled me. See, but yeah, debating sometimes give you a boost of confidence, which is good. But at the same time, it's also feeding your ego, which is also bad. See, I think that's what changed for me. But yeah, I think throughout the other experience I have in my life, I become more humble and I think too if you can balance both of that, I think we will have a better debating community. See, but I'm not gonna generalize, but that's my own personal opinion. So don't
Mm-mm.
quote me on that unless gossiping. I think everyone agrees. But
Mm.
anyway, yeah, I think that's what changes sih for me sebenarnya. Uh,
I see.
Both positive and negatively.
I see. Kayaknya ada beberapa debater juga yang bahas tentang itu. Tapi bener sih ya. Jadi kayak dulu tuh aku pernah bertanya-tanya ya, kenapa ya orang tuh kalau seneng ngomongin orang lain? Ternyata emang iya, karena kita basicnya tuh senengnya yapping. Jadi kebawa
Benar,
ngeyap orang lain gitu. Dan itu butuh kontrol diri yang besar
benar.
sih untuk berhenti untuk tidak gitu atau untuk menolak nggak deh aku nggak ikut-ikutan kayak gitu.
Yes,
Padahal banyak hal lain di luar sana yang bisa banget untuk diobrolin kayak gitu.
exactly.
Thank you for sharing loh Arya. Dan last but not least, asik. Pertanyaanku adalah kan kamu tadi sempat mention ya kayak ada stress eating dan kamu juga losing friends along the way karena mereka nggak bisa apa namanya tuh berhenti gitu untuk ngomongin kamu, ngomongin orang lain. Nah, what I want to learn from you adalah how you handle this situation. Apakah kamu akhirnya apa ya yang sering dilakukan orang-orang ya meditasi atau kamu literally ke profesional atau kamu mengedukasi dirimu sendiri atau kayak gimana Arya dalam menghadapi hal kayak gini?
Ini eksklusif sih sebenarnya. I want to share a little bit of detail on how much debate harms me, which I think a really good
Mm-mm.
clickbait ya. Kayak debating harms Arya Divananda. But anyways, um, more I think more than stress eating than losing friendship. I feel like um I lose trust sebenarnya. I lose the ability to trust people, and I feel like debating uh although it makes me really confident, but at the same time, it makes you even smaller gitu loh. It makes you even more insecure in yourself. It makes you second guessing everything that you do because you're so skeptical towards yourself, right? I think that's my fault sebenarnya to be, thinking that debating is my whole life. I think that's how I think I perceive debate for the early stage of debating. See, but how did I cope from that? Um, firstly, I feel like kayak awalnya itu it's very hard karena uh, spoiler, the people that broke me actually the people who are kind of close to me sih sebenarnya. Beberapa people yang really really makes me burn out with debating sebenarnya people yang actually really close to me. Cuma um, I still have some friends yang not even friends sih, I'm gonna say family yang benar-benar support me throughout thick and thin. Of course, I'm gonna give them shout out kayak Jody, Kak Steph, Stephen. I'm gonna say love y'all. You guys are amazing. They mereka tuh yang bener-bener wipe my tears when I'm crying hysterically pas semifinal, bener-bener really really good. Cuma gini kak, I actually detach myself from debating setelah KDMI sebenarnya. Cuma what grows the love out of debating lagi itu waktu Alsa UI 2025 where I was invited to become the cap sama amazing people. If you know Elgard, Kezia, bener-bener the nicest people on earth. Ya, that hits me. That apa ya kayak oh nggak semua orang di debate sejahat itu kok. You just need to expand your horizon and expand your kacamata aja. There's a lot of nice people. Then after that, uh, I actually get more invited juga di sana sini dan actually talk to people. Contohnya kayak Beauty Ariel, Kak Anggi Arishkan, Kak Santo juga who are very supportive dan juga very asik. That makes me juga realize bahwa debating is so much fun. Dan juga ada a quote from actually narasumber di sini juga itu Reinhardt yang really told me that you don't need them to enjoy debating. You don't need that person. You just need yourself and your skill gitu. Kayak bener-bener kayak wow, that what makes me realize bahwa yeah, it's kayak if you apa ya kayak if something is wrong jangan salahin the platform is never wrong but it's the people behind it then you could always change the people inside it gitu. I think that's what makes me realize bahwa satu, debating is not everything. Like it's good, but please don't attach yourself too much. But second of all, if you choose to attach yourself in debating, it doesn't mean that you need to stick with your own circle all in all. Please love yourself and like cut off some people if they don't deserve you. There's so many people that will appreciate your value juga sih as a human being. I think that mindset helps me grow the love of debating because if not from those kindness of the people like from the other people juga yang supported me, give shout out juga untuk Kak Daud, Kak Daniel, and the other friends I have in debating. Bener-bener make me push through juga sih dan bener-bener grow back the love karena kalau nggak karena mereka I wouldn't be here, I wouldn't be talking to you. I will kayak bener-bener kayak hapus all of the memories in debate. I'm this close on doing that actually, cuma ya itu dia, the Vegan community is diverse but it's so beautiful sih sebenarnya. Thank you so much buat orang-orang shout out towards the people and yeah, I think that's how I cope sih sebenarnya. But of course, other than that, there's other ways juga that I did. Kayak detaching is also a self care juga sih kak. Kayak taking a break, having a step back juga makes me really realize what I love and what I don't love from debating gitu. I think that's what helps me cope sih. But intinya adalah um, if you don't like your circle you can always change it but that's okay. Gitu sih kak.
Nice, thank you so much ya Arya ya untuk sharing hal yang very sensitive dan juga
Yes.
sangat-sangat personal gitu. I've been there dan juga benar kayak katamu dan katanya Reinhardt juga ya kadang tuh kita ketemu orang yang salah aja gitu. Orang yang baik itu juga masih banyak kok gitu. Dan kalau dari kamu cerita kan kayak apa namanya Reinhardt juga yang bilang tuh kayak oh Arya nonton ya edisi ini ya.
No,
Nonton juga ya behind the speech.
actually Reinhardt personally text me, but I do watch the behind the speech. Yay.
Yeay. Thank you so much loh.
Iya.
Nah, nggak kerasa nih apa namanya ya, kita udah 45 menit sendiri kita yapping, yapping yang ini ya, yang sehat ya. Kita nggak ngomongin orang, kita ngomongin Arya as a human, as a debater, sebagai debater Indonesia dan debater bahasa Inggris. Tapi BTW aku sama Santo ini loh menyadari kalau kamu menghapus semua postinganmu loh. Kita kayak loh gitu. Karena kan aku mau ngubungin kamu kan, Santo tuh
Iya.
ngirimin profilnya gitu. Apa namanya salah satu postinganmu. Ah, iya nih, baru mau aku chat, "Tok, kok hilang?" Santo. Kayak iya ya kok
Tapi
hilang gitu Santo.
yang baru-baru ini
Tuh.
karena lagi mau refresh aja sih. Aku emang emang suka refresh gitu. Aku archive nanti muncul lagi. Aku archive nanti muncul lagi. Gitu sih karena emang orangnya bosan sih Kak. Jadi memang orangnya bosenan dan emang suka if I want to start fresh gitu ya udah aku archive semuanya tapi ntar muncul-muncul lagi kok.
Dia udah kayak paus ya, ntar tenggelam, ntar muncul, ntar tenggelam, ntar
Iya,
muncul.
nggak apa-apa karena it's my account, it's my rule. Jadi kayak ya udah.
Betul, betul. Thank you banget Arya, sudah 45 menit nih nemenin ngobrol di sini bareng sama aku dan juga sudah berbagi banyak cerita yang personal juga. Aku nggak nyangka ternyata kamu justru having a breakdown habis menangin suatu lomba gitu. Biasanya
Yes.
orang kan euforik ya, habis menangin lomba kamu malah breakdown kayak gitu. Nah, ini juga sisi lain yang senang aku kupas gitu dari debater-debater yang ada gitu. Thank you so much atas waktunya yang sudah diluangin di tengah kesibukanmu, harus bela-belain, habis sakit juga.
Thank
Semoga segera
you.
setelah membaik ya semuanya. Dan
Amin.
salam buat orang-orang terdekat yang tadi di shout out juga. Thank you so much Arya atas waktunya. Kita bertemu lagi di lain kesempatan ya Arya. Bye bye.
Borahe.